Okay, everybody, welcome back to my channel for another recipe. This week is another great recipe. I think a lot of the recipes that I do as far as Italian meals go, I always get really excited about them. Growing up Italian, living in an Italian household, obviously. My mom, full-blooded Italian. This Italian food is near and dear to my heart. That's why you're starting to see a lot of Italian food. You guys are probably maybe getting sick of it, but there's a ton of dishes that I'd love to make, that I will make. I'll keep rolling with these until the springtime. So, having said that, I am going to make a dish today, not necessarily how you guys in the United States, know it as, but I am going to make it on how it actually originated in Rome back in 1907, 1908. And today, as you can see from the package, I am going to make a fettuccine Alfredo. Okay? I know you're saying, what is this, right? This is it. This is the ingredients. You got, once again, I always say, use great stuff. Not much to run down here, right? I have some imported fettuccine from Italy. The brand is Delalo. I have some real good quality butter over here, and I have some Parmesan reggiano over here. Okay, this is DOP certified. You hear me talk about it in other videos, as far as, like, I never skimp on cheese, right? So like a half a pound of this is it's $19 a pound, right? Okay. So I never skimp on the quality of it. When you're only using a few ingredients, always use the good ingredients. Your meal's going to come out fantastic. And look at this cheese. It's got all the white specks in it as well. Okay? So it's it's Parmesan cheese. That's how this originated. Little background here on how this particular meal came about, which, if you do the history on it, which I'm starting to become a huge history buff, the gentleman that invented this dish actually invented it and cooked it for the first time for his wife. His name was Alfredo. His last name was Delilio, and this all came about because his wife was pregnant. Okay. There's two stories about this. I think the second story is probably the more accurate story. But anyways, there's two stories floating around out there. And the first story is that she was pregnant, and she couldn't eat. She didn't want to eat. She had a lot of nausea. So Alfredo went in, made this particular dish for her, and then she wound up consuming food, right? Okay, that's the first story. The second story is the opposite, actually. It's after she gave birth to their son, and his name was Armando. And again, it was one of those things where, she had no appetite. He was hoping that he could get her to eat, so he created this meal. Okay, she started eating this food, and this is how Alfredo became, right? Fettuccine Alfredo. This is how this story actually became. Okay, so it wasn't even in America at the time. So it was actually all a Rome dish, right? So anyways, way back in the 1920s, I know I'm going to babble, but it's a little bit of history, so I think it's kind of fun that goes along with this recipe. This is also going to be a recipe part 1 of 2, because after I cook this meal, I'm also going to cook the Americanized version of this, okay? So anyways, nobody knew about, Alfredo and, Fettuccine Alfredo. Nobody knew about it. The man cooked it a few times for his wife. Anyways, he wound up opening up a restaurant. And, of course, back in the 1920s, there was a lot of silent film actors. And a gentleman and his wife named Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, I believe was her name, went for their honeymoon, ate at his restaurant, and absolutely loved this meal. All right, so in return for his hospitality and the great food and service that they received, they wound up giving him a gold fork and a gold spoon and named Alfredo, the actual guy, King of the Noodles. Okay, so this is how this took off. And after that, of course, his business was a huge tourist attraction. It's still open to this day. Of course, it's not ran by his family any longer. That's just the way it was, right? Things die down after a while, but that original spot is still in Rome to this day. So a little bit on how it came to the United States, okay? So his son turned around, came to the States in 1977, and Rockefeller Plaza in New York City opened up a place called Alfredo of Rome. That's where it initiated in the United States. Now, I'm going to leave the story there because in part 2, I'll let you know exactly what the difference in the ingredients are from the original version, which is right in front of me, to the Americanized version. We added stuff to it over here, right? When it came, just because that's how our palate is over here, it's a little bit different than Rome. So, we know it as a cream sauce, right? So I'm going to also show you in the second video, part 2, how to make that cream sauce and how we do it as Americans over here when we eat fettuccine Alfredo. Sometimes served with chicken, sometimes served with shrimp, broccoli, and it's a cream sauce with some garlic, and I'll show you guys how to make that. Okay, so we're going to get on with this recipe. Enough of the babbling. There's a little bit of history for you guys. It's a very simple dish. 3 ingredients. I got boiling water behind me, salted boiling water. We're going to spin around. We're going to drop some of this pasta, and we're going to show you how simple that this dish is to make. So we are going to drop the pasta. This is the pasta that I purchased. This is that pasta from Italy. And you can see, I don't know if you can see all the white specks in it. You can see the starch in it, right? That's going to be a great thing for when we dump this here, okay? So we're going to put this in because we're going to use the starch to thicken up the sauce a little bit. Okay, these are going to go down for about 9 minutes, and I will be back to show you exactly how we do this. This is very interesting. I hope you guys stay tuned because I think everybody's going to learn a little something here. This is a great recipe. Very odd on how this happens, but stick with me. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right, we'll be right back. So let's get prepping our plate. This is where it may look a little bit odd to you guys. Okay, so this is all we're going to do is we're just going to take the butter. We're going to just kind of spread it on the plate just like this. Use all the butter. I'll put the ingredients and the measurements that I use down below in the description, like I do all my recipes, okay? Softened butter will help this a little bit. So if you're going to, I'm sorry, I had to skip away there and get a mopine. So that's what you do. Spread the butter on the plate just like that. No special way. Just put it on there. And then we're going to throw the pasta on top of this with the starch of the water and grate some really awesome cheese. All right, so we have our pasta done, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to take the plate at the edge of the pot. Okay, we have our butter on our plate. We're just going to take the pasta and we're going to drag it up onto the plate just like this. You get some pasta water in there, don't worry about it. You're going to mix it all together anyways. Right? Actually, the pasta water is going to be part of the kind of the sauce, I guess. Okay, just like that, right? Okay. We have all of our pasta. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this over here. I'm going to try to keep you guys with me and see if I can do it like this. I may have to just move the camera a little bit, so pardon me for 1 second. We're gonna do it over here. I think the lighting is a little bit better. The lighting in this kitchen is not the best, but okay. So we have our butter, and this is what we do. right? We're just gonna turn around. We're gonna do this. Your stove is gonna get a little dirty if you do it over the stove. Okay, see, just like that. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our grater and we're gonna put a lot of Parmesan reggiano on top, lots of it. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Just like this. We're also going to take a little bit more, just like this. Okay, and we'll see where we are if we need to add a little bit more there. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to toss this, and this will actually, believe it or not, make a little bit of that Alfredo sauce. But this is exactly how it was done back in the day. We're going to need just a little bit more sauce for this. You can see it's coming together just like this. They used to actually take this and bring this out to your table like that, right? In the olden days, that's how they did it. But okay, a little bit more pasta water. And just keep mixing and mixing and mixing until we get the right consistency. We're going to add some little bit more cheese, and we're going to add, sorry about that, a little bit more pasta water. Be careful of the pasta water, just very lightly. You have to go very easy with that, right? We're going to do a little bit more Parmesan cheese. Like this. And we're gonna mix. So if this was back in the 1920s, this right here, if you went to a restaurant, is exactly what you would get, right? And it's just all about the consistency. It's all about, if you want it more cheesier, don't add as much pasta water to it. If you want it a little bit looser, I kind of like to see a little bit of the sauce. Okay, so this is how fettuccine, and you can see how it's coming. It's all coming together now. A little bit more pasta water, and then we may balance a little bit of that out with a little bit more cheese on the top, just for old sake time, right? Because I like a lot of cheese in my stuff. Okay, a little bit more. And I think that might do the trick. And we'll just keep tossing. And we'll toss. Now we're getting the sauce. And you can see it come together. That's what's great about this dish. Right? You're actually seeing the sauce. Just like that. Yeah. Okay, that's it. This is how the original back from the 1920s. Just like that. That's how they made it back in the day. All right, I'm going to take this over. We're going to plate this up real quick. And that's going to be the end of the recipe. Okay, hang in there. Okay, so we have our pasta on the other side of the counter here. And we are going to, you can see the sauce down on the bottom of the plate right there, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to take all this goodness. This is really good. Just like this. Right? And we're gonna mud on. This is just delicious. Okay, just like that. And then we can take a little bit of this sauce Like I said, you can make a lot of sauce. You can make a little sauce. Oh, sorry about that. There was a little bit of a blooper, huh? Okay, so then we'll just take a little bit of the sauce, just like this. That's it. This is how it was done. And this you might not think is delicious, but I'll tell you guys, this is fantastic because I've had this before. All right, guys, if you like this video, put a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Look out for part 2 here. We're going to do part 2, the American version of it, some fettuccine Alfredo with some grilled chicken and some broccoli. So stay tuned for that. That'll be the following video when I put this one up. But this is how they made it in 1908. This is old school from Rome. This is the way they would serve it to you if you went into a restaurant back then. Okay, guys, looking forward to seeing you guys in the following video. I will all see you guys next week. Take care of yourself, and I will see you later.